Peace, love, and life, family. Sister Toffee here, creator of kmsc.online, where we talk about the divine nature in your spirit. In this particular video, we're going to be talking about the unevolved, matrix-minded, toxic feminine, okay? We're going to talk about it so that we can address some issues that need to be changed in order to have healthier children in the future, living in our world, running our world, and enjoying life. Because we personally are going to be living here temporarily, which is a part of human life. For those of you that have never been to this channel, thank you for coming. I appreciate you taking out time in your day to listen to this video. If you find this video helpful, please hit the like button, the thumbs up button. Share the video with someone that you think might find it useful. And if you'd like to be notified when I upload the next time, go ahead and select that bell. And then you'll see all. You want to select all so you can be notified of the next video. I'm going to be talking just randomly about the toxic feminine energy. Number one, because I personally have been a toxic feminine. I am on the path of self-mastery, self-spiritual mastery, and I'm working on releasing all the toxic habits, traits, thinking patterns, behavioral patterns, etc., etc., etc. And I want to share with you how beneficial it can be to your children, to your bloodline, to your legacy as a woman to alchemize your energy into the divine template of what the divine feminine is, okay? And that will be a reflection of the cosmic mother, the energy of Mother Earth, the energy of the ocean, the energy of beauty, and of a beautiful creative imagination, okay? And those embody several different energies that in the tarot reflect fire, which is our passion, water, which is our emotions, swords, which is our mindset or thought forms, and wands, which is our passion, swords, which is our thoughts, cups, which is our emotions, and pentacles, which is our abundance or our resourcefulness, okay? The connection we have with our unlimited potential. So I want to talk about it because I grew up in a household where there was a lot of toxic feminine energy. I want to talk about how toxic feminine energy is created. Toxic feminine energy is created through being abused in some form or experiencing some form of injustice and not having any justice served. It also can come from a woman being in a toxic masculine energy, which means that she's a feminine in the physical form, but she desires to take an emperor's position while having a man or a male, a divine masculine male in her life. Now, I want you to know that when I say divine feminine, I'm speaking of the actual physical form of a woman to give birth, and also the divine feminine energy, because we have different types of relationships now that are legal, and I want to explain that I'm talking about the mother figure, okay? So a mother figure can be a male that has to raise children. He has to embody both the feminine and the masculine energies. I want you guys to know in the background, I'm playing this video on YouTube that actually clears negative energies, because I have to deal with a lot of negative energies, thought forms around me, and I need a protective agent. So that's that high-pitched sound you hear in the back. So if you have a dog, you might want to put your dog in another room. It may be irritating to the dog. Please make sure that the dog does not have to hear this, because I love animals and dogs are very sensitive to noise. Please protect your dog's ears, or put the dog in another room and put on some nice music to drown out this noise, because I will be repeating this as necessary during this video. So continuing about the toxic feminine matrix-minded woman that's unhealed or unevolved, this unhealed condition transfers to the children of this toxic woman. When women don't heal themselves, they succumb to a delusion and illusion. They usually have an undercurrent of toxicity that is destructive. A lot of women are very good at putting on a smile when underneath they have a very macabre, diabolical intent to not necessarily kill a person, but to keep them down, or to keep them hurting, or to prevent them from blossoming into something they are intended to be. In other words, they're used by entities to snuff out the light of people. Okay, they'll snuff out the light of your candle. And so, what happens when women don't heal and they have children? They cover up their toxic energy, which came from someone hurting them. Okay, and I'm not justifying anyone hurting a woman. There's a lot of injustice that happens to women, and no one talks about it. Nobody discusses it. Everybody wants to pretend that pretending is okay and acting like it doesn't exist is okay. It's not okay, because it's causing repetitive inequity and iniquity. It's causing karmic retribution to fall on the children of women that don't get healed, or women that don't become aware enough to find out about what a narcissistic, toxic male is and how to avoid them. If they don't have divine masculine men in their life, whether it's a father, a brother, a husband, whoever, it's important for women to be able to identify what a divine masculine is, because if you don't know what a divine masculine is, you will, more than likely, if you're not in a same-sex relationship, you will involve yourself with a toxic male. Now, toxic masculinity can be in the form of a woman or a male in physical body. Toxic masculinity is basically an intent to covertly manipulate a person in order to get them to submit to their will, which is selfish and does not seek the good of the other person. It only is self-serving, and it is all about them getting what it is they feel they want, they deserve. They do not care about the consequences of their actions, who it may hurt in the long run, as far as the person they're affecting, the family, the children. They don't understand it, and they're not concerned about it, or they're just not educated about it, or they've been programmed by the matrix to think this is normal. It's really important that we become aware of what toxic masculinity is, and how toxic feminines end up becoming a toxic feminine from being exposed to toxic masculinity. Okay, and it has nothing to do with it being a male in the body form. It is an energy. Okay. What do I believe? I believe that toxic masculines are narcissists. I believe that these narcissists are people that are unhealed themselves. They have trauma and they choose not to heal themselves, and instead they choose to become toxic and hurt other people. And the entity inside of them convinces them that it's okay because they were hurt. And so now they want to hurt other people. Although this is understandable, an eye for an eye makes a lot of sense, right? You give back what people give to you. The problem with that is that it perpetuates the conditioning of violence, okay? Spiritual violence. And spiritual violence to me is not the violence that you use with the hands, but it's intent, using the mind, the imaginations, the emotions, and the actions covertly to destroy a person's life. Financially, reputationally, to cause defamation of character, to have some regarded as less valuable than what they truly are. There are people that are actually used by the dark entities, okay, that are solely intent on making sure that you look less than, and you become less than what you are. They are there to rob, steal, kill, and destroy, like they say in the Bible. The devil's here to rob, steal, kill, and destroy. And it's not just about material things. The first thing they want to rob you from is your identity. They don't want you to know who you are, what you are, why you're here, how you're made, and what you are supposed to be doing. As far as women are concerned, women, you are not here to please a man. You're not here to be a man's sexual fantasy. You are here to be a mother. Your purpose of being a woman on this planet, if your womb gives birth to children, is so that you can become a mother. Those women that are not the feminine, that want to be the mother and prefer to be the father because they're in a same-sex relationship, it's your responsibility to understand what divine masculine energy is and not toxic masculine energy, and do not imitate what the toxic masculines that are in physical male form what they do. Don't imitate that, because then that also perpetuates more toxic masculine energy, which causes women to be toxic mothers, and then causes toxic mothers to hurt their children, either unbeknownst to them, unaware, or because they are choosing not to heal, or they're just so caught up in that pain and addicted to the pain that they don't even see the option of healing. Okay, and so this lack of awareness of self and of the spiritual reality, which is the real true reality, okay, how we manifest using our spirit, if that's not something that the woman is aware of, then she will not know how to pick a divine masculine that is aware of the same thing that she's aware of, which means that a person will know how to carry themselves healthily and justly and equitably in a relationship. Okay? If a woman is not aware of the knowledge of self, which is spiritual evolutionary levels and frequencies of becoming in balance with divine law, or the God within self, okay? Whether you're in masculine or feminine form, if you don't know this, then you will not know how to pick a mate. Many people are getting in relationships and they are not even aware of themselves. So how can you be in love with yourself or love yourself if you're not even aware of yourself? A lot of people say you can't love anyone else unless you love yourself. It's a cliche term, but what does it mean to love yourself? First, you got to know what you're loving in order to love it, right? If you don't know yourself, you don't really love yourself. Buying clothes, looking good, putting on makeup, dressed up in drag or whatever doesn't make you love yourself. What makes you love yourself is knowing yourself. And knowing yourself requires study of yourself. And knowing yourself also requires study of your ancestors and your ancestral patterns that have been repetitive in your family. And making sure that you do what you need to do to protect yourself against repeating those same cycles. You see, what happens when toxic feminines go ahead and embrace their toxic energy and they say it's okay for me to be toxic, and they allow the entity to control them, what happens is they cause anxiety, mental illness, and distress to their children, and then the children end up making decisions that are destructive not only to themselves but also to their children. And so here, hence, we have a repetitive cycle of inequity, of toxic feminine energy caused by a masculine injustice, okay? Because an aggressive nature is what causes harm, okay? And that's a toxic masculine energy. A feminine energy is passive and yielding. So regardless if it was a male or female that hurt you, any type of aggressive, violent nature, it's toxic masculine energy. So the first thing you women need to know is you need to understand yourself. You need to realize that until you clear up your own consciousness and gain understanding about what you went through, why you went through it, and that it's not your fault, that is most likely a cause and effect of a generational karma or iniquity. You know, our environment is what provides the opportunities we experience, okay? So if we're in an environment where there's toxicity, more than likely the repetition of toxic events will happen. And so when you're around people that are unhealed, you will become someone that experiences things that cause you to be someone that's hurting like the person that hurt you, and then you will either become a toxic feminine or you become a person that chooses to heal themselves, right? Toxic feminine is basically a toxic masculine, okay? Because the feminine is nurturing, it will do whatever it needs to do to heal. And so it's important for women, of course, to embody the feminine nature so that you can be the representation of what healing is. Doesn't mean be a sucker, a punk, a doormat, a worm, a weak person. I'm talking about your inner nature. You can go and lift weights. You can be able to bench press 250 off your chest, for all I care. I'm talking about your spiritual inner power. I'm talking about your ability to come to terms with whatever it is that you have to deal with in your life, and coming to terms with what you have to do going forward. It's separating the truth from the falsehood. It's being able to, through your intuitive nature, identify the who, what, when, where, why, how of what you've gone through and who was the cause and the catalyst, and to forgive those that are not responsible and hold accountable those that were, meaning you know not to trust them anymore, okay? A lot of times when we have a toxic situation in a family unit, there's a lot of gray area. A lot of people have succumbed to the entity or the demon that has encourage them to accept this toxic, covert nature that is really evil and demonic. They think it's okay. They have a form of godliness but deny the power of God. God's people do not talk about each other behind each other's back. God's people do not go around spreading words of defamation and lies about a person. God's people don't go around sharing information that is incorrect, number one, and should not be privy to people that are not even a part of the situation. God's people will deal directly with the person that they feel has a problem, and they will bring it to the council, and the council will judge the situation and say, well, how can we deal with this to help the person? They don't go back around people's behind their back talking about defamation of character and libel and trying to make a person's character look bad. When a person does that, that means that they have an entity attachment, which is a demon, okay? If they talk about you, they'll talk about someone else. So if you're around people that talk about other people, it's like a disease, okay? It's like COVID, you can catch it. You tolerate people like that, you'll become a person that talks about other people too. And so there's a scripture that's coming to mind to me right now. It says, bad company corrupts good character. And so if you are a person of piety, decency, and you are working towards the path of self-spiritual mastery so that you can become the hawk of gold, so that you can clear up the karma, so that your children do not have to repeat the karma that you have reaped from your unhealed ancestors, okay, or your unhealed living parent. If you take the responsibility and decide, I'm going to stop it here, and you decide, I am determined to heal myself. And how do you heal yourself? You heal yourself with understanding. See, once you understand, the deeper the understanding gets, there's something energetically that happens with the consciousness. There's a drawing in of some type of physical, energetic power that allows a transformation that can't be given words. It's just a download of a healing that cannot be explained by man that happens. See, that's why the divine said, in all you're getting, get understanding. Understanding is your doorway to healing, okay? And so you have to understand. That's why scripture says, study to show thyself approved, okay? To show thyself approved is to know thyself, and you will be approved by the divine, and you will be given a gateway, okay, an energetic gateway to transform and walk through another level of consciousness, another level of understanding, where you can actually transmute those negative energies and see things from a whole other perspective, no longer affected by the past experiences that you had, because you are not your experiences, you are an eternal, multidimensional being. So women, I want you to know something. The highest thing you can ever be in this world is a mother. It is the most powerful thing that you can be. There is no job, no degree, there's nothing that you can become that this world could give you that can top what you've already been given if you have the ability to give birth to a child. A mother is the best thing you could be. Your husband is not your gift. Your man is not your gift. Your partner is not your gift. Your children are your gift. Because when you get older, and if your partner or whoever's in your life passes away, and you're in need of strength, and you're in an older age, and you need young strength to help you, but you have older wisdom, you're going to need your children. You're going to need your children. So if you are valuing this information I'm saying, and you understand that we all live and we get older if we live, you will need your children. And the worst thing you can do is make your children your enemy. And how do you do that? Number one, you remain ignorant. And if you remain ignorant, you will not know how to conduct yourself. That means you won't know what to say in the right time, do in the right time, be in the right time, go in the right. You will be a product of destruction, of the enemy. I want you to know something. You have entities, dark entities, demonic entities that are intent on destroying you, destroying your character, destroying your relationships, destroying your joy, destroying your strength, your power, your connection to the divine, your identity, everything. They want to steal everything from you. And the most valuable things they want to steal from you are not tangible. So woman, do you know your value? You are a man with a womb, with the ability to give life. Okay? The gift of this world to every man and woman are your children. The man's gift is his children, because the children can be taught the things that he knows and carry his legacy through the way that they live. The mother can be blessed by her children by having her children as her physical strength when she's old and tired and her bones don't want to move anymore, and her husband may have transitioned, or maybe he decided he wanted to have another wife, another family. Your children are your blessing, and if you disregard the value of your children, I promise you, you will regret it. So in closing, I want to say to you women, if you are looking for some very valuable relationships, or some relationship that you want to last for eternity till the end of time, start with yourself, which is God and self, spirit and self, universe and self, and your children. Okay? Because not too many people like to hang out with an old lady or an old man unless you're at the senior citizens home. All right? So take some time to think and understand that we are all products of our environment. We are, our parents are, our parents' parents. The alchemy that we do, that's up to us. What we leave for our children in the future, what we leave for the children of the world in the future, that's up to us right now. So I want you to consider, do you really want a better world? Do you want to see a better world? Do you want to have your children living in a better world? Well, that means you have work to do. I don't mean to be harsh right now. I know I probably sound a little aggressive. It's because I have opposing energies around me right now. So I'm fighting amidst negative, low frequency energies, entities, Stephen's beings, they're around here. And so please forgive me if I sound harsh. I do love you with divine love. And I do speak all these words with intent to wish you the evolution of your spirit to become the greatest and most powerful version of yourself, where you have so much love for yourself that you don't need the love of another, but you can accept it and thank a person for the compliment. This is Sister Toffee, creator kmsc.online. We'll talk about the divine nature of your spirit. Please be aware that this business is going through a transformation, and more than likely will probably be transformed into another name, and will probably have the title of a hobby as opposed to a business. I'm not quite sure. Going through legal situations right now. It could take anywhere from now until a year. But as long as I'm breathing and living, I will leave you guys messages when I can. Okay? Stay tuned for the next episode where we're going to pull cards. We're going to see what Spirit has to say about the month of August, July and August. We're going to ask Spirit, what is it that we can pay attention to as we evolve into the next cycle of our life. Okay? Also, I'm going to do a video for the toxic masculine. And we're going to talk about the toxic masculine and what he needs to learn and how he should evolve to help his legacy, his name, and his children. Okay? I already left one, which was daddy's baby, mama's maybe, because a lot of people talk about how mama this and mommy that. No, daddy. No soul comes to this planet unless it comes through a man. All right? So, daddy, it's time for you to, pull up your britches and get out your pipe and sit down and put your feet up on, the ottoman and think. And if you're not used to that, then, that pawpaw energy, well, try it out. See if you like it, because you're going to get there if you live. And we need divine masculines to lead. So, Papa, we need you. And if you're not there yet, you can be. You will be. All right? I believe in you. I love you. But guess what? The divine loves you more. Both you divine feminines and divine masculines. We're on our way. We're on our way, okay? Don't be hard on yourself. You've done a great job so far, and you will do even greater in the future. I know this. Because guess what? Sister Toffee is made of the same composition that you are. So the same thing that's inside of me, it's the same power that's inside of you. And just like I believe in me, I believe in you. Okay? Sisters and brothers from the Cosmic Mother, this is Sister Toffee. I'll see you in 2 and 2. The next video is going to be about the toxic masculine. Okay? The toxic, unhealed, unevolved, matrix-minded masculine. And this is not about a judgment. This is about the state of conditioning that they put us in here because we are not taught the knowledge of self. All right? I'll see you guys in 2 and 2.